I manifested this, but it's not happening. Something else, like even the opposite happened. Well, that's because the universe is trying to get you ready because they're getting you ready for an up level. Girl, if you're not ready, you're not going to be able to accept it when it comes.
Welcome to the Badass Manifester podcast, keeping you inspired with high vibe content, bringing you the best manifestation and mindset tools, teachings, interviews, and answering questions to help empower you to get out of your own way and take massive action to make magic your everyday normal. I'm your host, Ashley Gordon, spiritual life and manifestation coach, helping women and spiritual entrepreneurs manifest more impact, influence, and income. It is my purpose and pleasure to help you wake up to the badass creator that you are. Let's do this. Welcome to the Badass Manifester podcast. Today, I have a very special guest, and I'm really excited to bring her on because we've had some people on the podcast talk about money mindset and abundance mindset. And this is going to be a little bit different today. And I'm really excited because Kathy Frogosa is here. And I'm going to give her a little bit of an intro before I welcome her officially. But Kathy's a beach girl with a rebel personality who loves meditating, yoga, journaling, and of course dogs because hello. She loves helping women find Zen in their money matters. And Kathy worked in accounting for a long time, and she saw people cringe when they heard the word finances and thought there must be a better way to approach this whole money thing, which there totally is, and I'm so excited for her to tell you about it. And as a rebel herself, she related to that resistance of being told to do things a certain way, and if it didn't feel good deep down in their bones, she wasn't doing it. And as a transformational money coach, Kathy helps women who want to live life on their own terms develop healthy money habits using compassion and intuition as their guides. So today's going to be really, really good because obviously, hashtag, we all want money.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, Kathy.
Thank you. Thank you. So great to be here.
Yes. So great to be here. I'm so glad Jenna connected us, and here we are.
Yeah.
So why don't you share a little bit about, what was your transformation like? You went from corporate, I assume corporate, right?
Yes.
To having your own business, being your own boss, and helping empower women in their mindsets. So why don't you share a little bit about your journey?
Sure. Yeah. So I went the traditional route, was raised in a pretty conservative household in a conservative denomination where we pretty much were told what we're supposed to do, when we're supposed to do it, how you're supposed to be, kind of the face of the family and that sort of thing. And even as a child, I was just kind of like, yeah, I don't like that box. Please don't put me in the box. But, in order to get the validation and the love, the confirmation that you are craving for, you lose a little, not lose, but kind of quiet that inner self. And that's who I was for a very long time. Went the traditional route of college and studied finance and got out and was in the corporate world, did accounting, banking, insurance, even teaching. I taught for 7 years. And I was feeling like, okay, I'm doing all the things, but I still don't feel right. Like something's not feeling like I'm not who I am supposed to be. And then in 2012, my mom was diagnosed with ALS. And it was like a shock to the system because, she's going to be 82 this year, and you expect, things happen. You're hit by things all the time, and you're strong enough to get through it. But I started thinking, okay, this is real. Like, if this was it, did I really live my life? Like, did I really live it the way I wanted to live it?
Wow.
And I didn't, up to that time, I was so afraid of everything. I was afraid to travel. I was afraid because something could happen. What would people say? That was my mantra. Like everything was about, I can't do that because that doesn't look right. Or I can't do that because that doesn't feel like people will accept me or they'll judge me. And I said, nope, not anymore. It was a wake up call. It was a
Wow.
serious wake up call. And that's where I was like, I'm going to start living my life, the way I see that it should be lived, with not judging myself, really connecting back to who I am. What do I like? I did not know what I liked in terms of food, music, clothes. It was just, I lost myself completely in the
Wow.
mix. And I know there are a lot of women that are in that place as well. And I've, going through things, I was like, I need to make a change. And money is one way. It's a tool. And you say it all the time. Money is just energy,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't have a, bad relationship with money. So I was like, okay, this is my tool. This is not the way I want my life to look. What do I need to do in order to really find out what it is that I want out of my life, and how do I create the funds to fund my dreams?
Yes. Wow, wow, wow. So when you were in that stage of being lost, um, did you feel happy or you weren't, or you were miserable? Like what was your state like?
It was, I was constantly looking for something else. I was kind of going through the motions, and I would read a ton of
Yeah.
books that would say, if you do this, then you'll be happy. If you do that, you'll be happy. And I was doing all the things. I was just like, I'm still not happy. What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you
And
seem happy now. You're glowing.
oh, thank you. Thank you.
So it really took your mom getting sick to wake you up to this like realization that life is happening right now, and what are we going to do about it, right?
Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That was
When
the,
you say you have a good relationship with money, or you had a good relationship with money and you saw it as a tool that it would allow you to do these things, what does a good relationship with money look like to you?
yeah. So a lot of times we are, and I did have to have a transformation myself, but it was mostly during my college years, the lean years when you're, just barely, you're working that full-time job and going to school and, trying to make the ends meet until the next paycheck. I had to pay for school myself. So it
Wow.
was, a pretty lean time, and during those times, it was kind of that, oh my gosh, am I going to have enough for tuition next month? Or, oh my gosh, do I have enough for my groceries this month? That sort of thing. And it was finally to a point where I gave it up, like just really giving it up to God, universe, source, and say, look, man, I can't do this on my
Right.
own.
Right. Right.
I can't. So I don't know how it's going to work out, but it's going to work out. It's kind of like I equate it to just that free falling of just go with the flow, and it's going to work out,
Yes. Yes.
And yeah, that's what I feel is a good relationship with money, to realize it's just energy. It's just something that is going to enable you to be able to fund your dreams. And if we don't see it as an enemy or a bad thing, or
Mhm.
all these negative connotations. We see it as something that's really going to help us get further along where we want to in our lives.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So what do you think trips people up when it comes to that specifically? Like people thinking that money's bad, or like how can they move past that?
Yeah. So most of our ideas about money are imprinted on us from a very early age, and we have no idea that it's even happening. And this is not to put blame on anybody, our parents, our authority figures. They all did the best that they could with what they had.
JK, let's blame them. It's all their fault.
and and when we think about it, it's generational as
It is.
well.
I completely agree.
You
I
know,
couldn't agree more.
it's just inherited stuff. Unless there's a conscious effort to say, nope, I'm not keeping going this shit going. No, this is where it stops here with my generation, my family. It will just keep on going. So what happens is that we have some subconscious blocks that are imprinted on us as we're very young,
Mhm.
And we just keep on going by authority figures, by our family, by society. You've heard the saying, money doesn't grow on trees. Money is the root of all evil. You got to hustle or you're not really worthy.
Yeah.
That's a big one that I find that's really prevalent right now. And that's really, hard when you are in alignment with what you're doing. In other words, you're able to make money doing what you love. It
Hmm.
doesn't feel like work. It
Yeah.
feels like flow. It feels easy. And unfortunately, a lot of us women equate easy with lazy, and that's just not true.
Oh,
It's
you're right.
their
Yeah.
beliefs that have been imprinted on us, and that's what keeps us stuck.
Yeah, you're so right. At the same time, though, it's like when you're in your purpose and it does feel easy to generate income, like for us being coaches and working we love what we do and podcast interviews and all of that. But at the same time, it's like we're still working, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that that's what it is. It's exactly
Right.
when we're working, we're doing it. We're doing the
Yeah.
stuff just because it's not like being at a toxic 9 to 5 soul sucking
Yeah.
job doesn't make it wrong. Yeah.
Wow. So after you had this realization, um, how did you transition into being a coach?
So I was working in the corporate world, and I kept having the same thing kind of happen. And I bet you a lot of ladies have this issue as well.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're the gung ho. We're gonna give it 150% because then the establishment, the organization, they're going to see that you're a superstar. You're going to be promoted. You're going to get the rewards. And no, that's not what happened. Time and time again, it was like
Wow.
a same thing, different organization, same scenario.
Wow.
And I got to a point where I was like, this is bullshit. No, I could do so much more, and help so many more by being able to really be the the driver of my destiny.
Right.
you
Yes.
know?
Yes.
And so it was like, yeah, let me put all these skill sets together and serve my peeps.
That's so awesome. That's amazing. So let's talk about a little bit more about like how what's your method to help people with um changing their relationship with money?
Sure. So the first thing we talk about is really money healing, because there are stories that we
Mhm.
have that created that just aren't true.
Yeah.
So something deep down in there's a money story that's keeping us from being able to reach the goals that we want to. And we need to heal from them as well, and just figure out what's going on, how are
Mhm.
we going to reframe if there's a need to reframe, or what is it that we need to do in order to heal from that story. So
Mm.
we first do the money healing. Then once that's taken care of, then we get into the nitty gritty of the numbers and everything else. And I like to call it money mapping, because who wants to hear the word budget, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that I love that. Money mapping. That sounds
Money mapping. Yeah, because really money mapping is about creating a path, a map for your ideal lifestyle. And that lifestyle is going to look different for everybody. It might be having your own business, being a six-figure business owner, or it might be working a 9 to 5,
mm-hmm.
but having those pockets of things that are very important to you. You might want to travel, have a vacation a family vacation every year, or you might want to be location independent. Those goals each have a different money attached to it, money amount attached to it. So, like I didn't know what I wanted for so
Yeah.
long. That's where we really get, down to it, because I've worked with clients where they've said, I need to have this amount, and it would be a very large amount in savings. And as I said, so why do you think you need that much? Well, that's what my parents always had. They've always said, this is how much we should have. So, okay, so but why do you think that you need to have it? You know, and
Exactly.
and once you untangle that, you realize, well, shoot, I really don't need to have that much. I think I'm good with this much, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Um, Also debt, you know, and this is gonna freak people out, I know, because it's always been like debt is bad, debt is bad, debt is bad. But what if you want to start your business and that's what you really need at this moment? I'm not saying to go, you know, be $1 million of debt. That's not what I'm saying. But really, you have to look at each situation for yourself.
Yeah.
And does it
Right.
mean that you just are you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to use this credit card for this particular purpose, and as soon as things, you know, get better, I'm going to pay it off. Have a plan,
Yeah.
whatever it is. You
Right.
it's individual.
That makes so much sense. And I love the concept of money mapping.
Yeah.
I love that. It's like taking a look at everything that you've got going on financially. And I find that, a lot of people actually ignore their finances.
Yes. Yes. There's this because again we're fearing the money when it's actually our friend. It's, you know, there's nothing to fear. There is because we place judgment on that balance that's on the in the account on
Mhm.
ourselves. We're bad or good if it's not that particular amount that we have put in our minds that it should
Yeah.
be,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So that's where the compassion and intuition comes into play. You know, we are so hard on ourselves. We as women are very hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
We need to give ourselves a break because we're doing the best we can with what we have right now.
Mhm.
And the more you beat yourself up, the harder it is to achieve any goal.
It's so true. And I love what you said about how like I don't even think it's the money that we're actually afraid to look at. It forces you to look at yourself
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
where you spend money and where you're allocating your energy, which is money, right? And where you're investing. And then also like you said about debt, how not all debt is bad,
Right.
right?
Right.
If you're investing in a business, then it's actually good debt.
Right. Right. It's like that. My mom used to say all the time, your education, nobody can take your education away from you. And it's the same thing with courses. Like we, especially as entrepreneurs, we get bombarded with all kinds of offers
Courses,
that
yeah.
that will help elevate our business. So I have a tip for anybody who's, you know, considering what are we, you know, should I get this course or not? Okay.
Love it.
First thing that you should do is really, you know, sit down and look at what you've already purchased. What courses, coach packages, what have you already purchased? And then write down what specific um, point are each of those things hitting. So
Mm,
if I have a course that's a larger ticket course for me, you
yes,
know, because again, that depends on the person on what they consider. For somebody, it might be a 197 course, another it might be a $2,000 course. It just depends on the person.
totally.
So if you have a course that you've already, look at what you already have paid for and then tell yourself, okay, this one is for strategy. This one is professional development. And this one I'm for mindset. How much bandwidth do you have right now in order to be able, do you have any more bandwidth? If you don't, baby doll, you need to stick with what you have already,
Yeah.
finish those up, and then you can pick something else up. But you might not have the funds or the bandwidth in order to really dedicate the time and energy in order to do that. Now, that being said, you want to get to the next level, you're going to have to invest in yourself.
Yes.
So you got to make that a priority.
It's so true. It's
Whether you have a business or not, you've got to make it a priority. Otherwise, you're always going to be at the level that you're at right now. And we're
mhm.
all about up leveling. No, we're not going to stay here. It's
No.
not fun here. We got to keep on going.
I love it. That's amazing. Yeah, no, it's so true. And I think you're right. And it's like really looking at like what got even just like what got you to where you are, how
Mm-hmm.
much you invested, like and what else do you feel like you need right now? And
Exactly.
and I think that money, like most people I would say, are uneducated around money.
Yep. Yeah.
You
It's
know,
something that we're not taught about this in school.
no, we're not taught about this, and it's very rare. I mean, there's money coaches, right? But there's, you know, everyone resonates with someone different, but also the fact that like most people that are not on the online world are like not buying like they just don't realize that they have a relationship with money and that it's either hurting them or benefiting them. And so it's just interesting how I don't know, just how most people just don't know this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's but if you think about it, if it's something that makes you uncomfortable,
Yeah.
that's where we have to be very intentional about wanting to find out. And unfortunately, what happens is
That's true.
some, sometimes we have to have something bad happen before we're like, oh crap. Maybe I should have listened, and maybe I should have gotten some things, together so that this wouldn't have felt so bad.
Yes.
For instance, like a little emergency savings, again, that amount will look different for each person, but that is it's a peace of mind
Yeah.
to know something comes up, I'm good.
How about those people that think that they need like, I don't know, like $100,000 in the bank and then they'll be like secure?
Yeah. So I would, say the same thing. Why do you feel that way? Is that 3 months of your monthly expenses?
Bills. Right.
Um, typically, if you typically emergency savings is for that. If you and think about it this way, especially nowadays, you don't get any much interest on your savings.
Mm-mm.
It's like nothing. So while you're saving that money, it's not being invested somewhere else to give you a higher return.
Mm.
So that's where, but again, everybody has a different risk tolerance. So it really depends on what you feel good with. And that's where I would coach and say, okay, why is it that you feel like, or this person needs to, why do you feel like you need to have that certain amount? And then we work it backwards so that if that number is still that number, girl, own it. Yeah, you feel good with that 100,000, then you have that 100,000, and you work until you have it, so that you feel good going forward and doing any of the other things that you want to do.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Cool. And so at what part in your journey did you start to realize that you need compassion and intuition? Like for you, was it a pivotal moment of like realizing this, and how did that
Yeah.
play its role?
Yeah. Well, in the, going through the judgment, the constant judgment around me, and because I was in a position where everything I did had to look a certain way. And you can never please everybody. It's
Mm,
impossible to please everyone.
yeah.
Impossible. And whenever I, would get some feedback or criticism, I'd really, really be hard on myself. Like,
Mm,
oh, you're so, all the words. You're
yeah.
so, why are you so, do this again? Why are you doing this? It's the same pattern, stop. Uh, but when I came down, really looked at everything that would happen, it's like, hold on, you know, was I really that bad? It wasn't that bad. No, um,
Right.
I read Don Miguel Ruiz, The Four Agreements.
Yes. So good. So good.
So good. That was what did it for me. I was like, whoa, just, breaking those agreements, understanding that that is not a belief that I want to have, do not take things personally, do not assume, always do your best, and let
Yeah.
your words be impeccable. Your word is impeccable. And I started to live my life recognizing, hey, I'm doing all these things. So, you know, fuck off.
Fuck off. I love that.
Goodbye.
Poof, be gone.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so good. That's amazing. I mean, I think it's really challenging for people to kind of let go of pleasing and what everybody else thinks and feeling like they, you know, can't be compassionate to themselves because they're beating themselves up so much. Like what was that? Like, is there a tool you have or something that you did to shift into, or was it the book? Like what shifted you?
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
like a really big deal.
It is. It is. Something that was really is it. I do use this. It's where did I hear it? The Book of Extraordinary Coaching. Um, he said, okay, so just one sentence. If I knew X, then I would Y.
Mm.
So if I knew I was loved unconditionally, then I won't give a fuck.
Oh shit. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So really that was the epitome of saying, you know what? I can't be compassionate with myself if I'm trying to please everybody, if I'm trying to stay small, if my voice is constantly, sometimes politely, sometimes very impolitely, told you're too much, bring it down. No, this is who I am. This is, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm pretty good people. So,
Yeah.
it starts with loving yourself, recognizing there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
And I think that was the turning point that I realized I'm not one to stay in the box. I don't want to stay in the box. There are plenty of people who are happy in the box. I'm not in the box.
Mm-mm. Out of the box.
Yes.
Little Dora the Explorer. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's fun actually. Um, yeah, no, that's so beautifully said. And like, I love that. If you were X, then
You would.
you
Why?
would, you would Y. And
Yes.
I say a lot, like if you're locked into fear and you're locked into pleasing, then you're locked out of
Yes.
something else. So it's like whatever you're locked into is there's something that you're locked out of.
Definitely. Something that you shared with us in the Facebook community was pretty. I love it. I love it, and I do it. I just did it yesterday. So you mentioned when you're kind of freaking out about the future or
Yeah.
some future event, to think of how you would feel 20 minutes after whatever was done. Whatever happened, and how you would feel, and actually feel those feelings. This is so crazy. This is crazy. But I knew I needed to get gas. I knew I needed gas. However, I didn't get gas. And so I'm driving and the light comes on. But I never do this because I don't like not having gas in my car. But I
Yeah.
just didn't do it that time. And not only did the light come on, but it was on the very last bar.
Oh my
This is
God.
like, you feel the anxiety just thinking
Yeah.
about it.
Pushing it to the limit.
Right. So I was like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And I said, hold up. Okay. Start feeling, I'm going to have enough to get to the gas station. And I'm not going to stress about this like this. And I just got in that energy of, oh, wow, that was so cool that I got there as I'm driving, thinking I'm going to go to X gas station, right?
Yeah.
It was like, oh, so that's so, and I just calmed myself. I called it in that I was not going to run out of gas. I get to the light and I'm like, oh shit, there's a gas station I didn't even realize was so much closer than the other one.
Oh my
So like
God.
right on that corner, and I, got the gas, and I was like, imagine all the anxiety and stress that I would have been coming down from right now. And it was handled, it was okay. I
Wow.
went with the flow. But that little tip that you gave us in the
That's awesome.
Facebook, like that I
Amazing.
use that a lot now.
That's so cool. My mom literally, like before our interview, she was telling me that she just used that too. And I was like, that's awesome.
Yes.
That's so cool. And it's like you manifested that outcome for yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Wow. That's how powerful you are, right?
Oh, thanks. We all are. We are. That's
Oh,
the
yeah,
whole
for sure.
thing. It's like, if we knew how incredibly powerful we are, and
Mhm.
how much the universe, God, wants to help us and give us what we want, we wouldn't be worried. We wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing is, really when it comes to money, it's free falling. It's really just free falling and letting it happen. And also understanding when things, because I hear this a lot. I manifested this, but it's not happening. Something else, like even the opposite happened. Well, that's because the universe is trying to get you ready because they're getting you ready for an up level. Girl, if you're not ready, you're not going to be able to accept it when it comes.
Girl. Oh, I love that.
So it's the same with money. Like, how can you wish to have $1 million if you can't handle what you have right now in
Oh,
terms of energetically,
yeah. Yeah. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure, sure, sure. So we are, again, when we're not aligned, we cannot bring in the abundance. We can't bring in the manifestations because we're saying one thing with our mouths, but we're not feeling it. So if we're saying, I want to fill my client roster, but as we're writing out our sales pages or doing all the content postings and everything, we're in this scarcity mindset of, oh my gosh, I hope I get these clients. I hope they get these clients. Guess what? It's not going to happen because you're sending that energy in the stuff that you're creating.
Yeah.
Instead, you
Okay.
have to be in that positive energy of, whoa, this is all the women that I'm going to be able to help with this program. And oh my gosh, all the transformation that's going to come, all the beautiful light and energy that they're going to be able to
Yeah.
also expend by being able to come into my community and just being able to help them. That's a much different energy than the other energy. And that's when things blow up. All of a sudden, it's like, oh shit.
Oh shit, my client roster is full.
Yes, it works, guys. It works.
It really does. It really
It's
does.
physics. It's physics. It's energy.
Yeah.
It's not crazy made up stuff. It's energy. It's
It's
science.
energy, and the energy, like noticing your input, like what you were saying, is so important. Like what's the energy and intention behind your post and what you're putting out there and how you're thinking and what you're feeling. And I mean, something that I'm noticing more and more is like real true manifestation. It comes from the heart, and
Yes.
it's like you can't help but feel connected to all the women that you're going to be working with, and you can't help
Yes.
but feel so good when you write your landing page because you know it's going to like just connect with the right people at the right moment.
Yeah.
And like you said, like free falling into that sensation that it's going to work out. And I mean, what do we have to lose by really thinking that it's going to work out?
Right. Right. Oh, that gives me chills. Yeah. Yeah.
And some people
Honestly.
would say, well, what if it doesn't and I get disappointed? And then I would say what you said before about like the up level,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. I think that's I used to hear this all the time. Don't pray for patience because that's when you're going to get a whole bunch of trying situations. Well,
Yeah.
you need them. You need
Do.
them, you
You
know?
really do.
Yeah. And that's, unfortunately, it's you have to have the good, you have to have the bad to recognize there's good.
Yeah. Like I
So,
wouldn't know how to have a healthy relationship with money if I didn't value myself, you know, years
right.
prior. If I didn't grow up with, I grew up just having enough. Like my mom was always like, we just have enough, we just have enough, we just have enough. And so that was what was ingrained in me. And then her parents taught her through gambling and like, they just had enough. And it was just like getting by and also being irresponsible. And so that imprint for me was like really hard to break through because that's what I was manifesting, just enough.
Right.
And then spending like, probably a little irresponsibly. And it's just interesting, like looking back, like you said, generationally, I mean, it's so clear that like people just had no idea how to
Yeah.
treat money.
Yeah. Yeah. It's,
You know?
yeah. It's, again, because it's not something that's taught in school. Like,
Yeah.
we really don't. And then think about it. How, how do you want to be taught?
Right.
You know, how it has to be very objective. It would have to be an objective course, but money is very subjective. Like there's
Yeah.
so many things that go in that. But yeah, that's the, also it's kind of this thing. Like I had this one client that was saying, um, I don't believe that making money is hard, but at the same time, she was saying money is hard, making money is hard, and I, the whole journey is too hard. So she didn't realize she's stuck. These beliefs have her stuck
They've
because
roadblocked her.
completely. And she didn't realize that that was what was going on. And I said, hold on. Did you realize that you just said in order to make money, it has to be hard? And you're also saying that the journey is too hard. So how in the world are you going to get to your goal if you're right there in the middle? It's just like, oh,
Yes.
yeah. So
Yeah.
those
Wow.
are the things that, helping money coaching helps because
Yeah.
it's just like a regular sports coach. You could be great at a particular topic, a particular skill, but that coach helps up level you and helps you see, hey, there's something there that you're not really noting because it's ourselves, I mean, I don't know. I think most coaches have coaches because it's like
Yeah.
you see it in others, but it's so hard to see it in yourself.
You're so right. Do you work with like who's your ideal client? Like do you work with online coaches primarily or do you work with women in corporate? Who do you work with?
I work with mostly my clients have been women business owners,
Yeah.
so online, corporate, but really it's women who are out there living life on their own terms, ready to take on the world and want to make sure that they have the funds in order to do that.
That's so cool. What has been like one of the greatest transformations that you've seen in working with someone go from like, you know, I don't know, horrible relationship to money to like manifesting
Yeah,
money?
yeah. So I had this one client that had a lot of beliefs that were kept down from her family,
Yeah.
and her family were pretty much corporate. Had the 401k, and she did that whole trajectory as well. But she did not fit that mold, and she wanted to do her own thing. She was a entrepreneur. She's an online coach, and she was like, I need to have X amount in my savings. And I'm like, whoa, that's a lot. Why is
Yeah.
that? And it's because, that's what my family believes. And say, okay, so let's,
Break
what
that
else is
down.
it that you love? What does your ideal lifestyle look like? And she said she wants to travel. She wants to be charitable. She loves giving, gifts. She wants to be able to just, hey, I have a friend and I want to give her a gift or give a nice tip. I want to still be able to then, save for retirement. I said, okay, so you have those things that you want, and these are your monthly expenses. Do you really need to have that much in savings in order to really meet your ideal lifestyle? And she was like, no, I really don't think so. So I told her, go ahead and think on it, and we'll get back with it. So she comes back and says, yeah, no, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. And in fact, I have a online biz bestie that just called me up and said, hey, they only knew each other online. I have this trip to the Bahamas. Are you able to go? And she said, I'm going to manifest this shit. Let's go. She did. And she would never had done that before. She recognized that travel was something that was really important to her, that is one of her ideal lifestyle components. She went that same day. She got her federal tax return that paid the plane ticket to the place. She wasn't expecting it. And then 2 days later, she got the state return for her lodging. So basically,
Wow.
because she knew travel was something that she really valued and that's something that she wanted to do, she took this opportunity. She had an excellent time, and it wasn't even just a vacation. They were able to collaborate and help uplevel her business. So
Hmm.
that's the power of, and she would have never gone if she had not, been clear I don't really need all that money in my savings. I'm fine with what I have right now.
Wow. That's
So,
amazing.
yeah. So again, that's why I put an emphasis on how do you want to feel? How do you want your life to look like? Because then we reverse engineer it with the money map.
I love
Because
that.
otherwise you're going towards a goal that's not even yours.
Oh, it's so true. It is so true. I think social media really amplifies that too. Wow, 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 wow. I love the idea of money mapping. It's like fun to say too.
Yeah.
I think you should write a book called Money Mapping. Right?
Sounds
So
good.
good. Get on that. Get on
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So awesome. So is there anything that you feel like you want to share? Well, obviously I need to ask you a very important question, which is
Yeah.
what makes you a badass manifester?
Oh, girl, I'm all about the manifesting. I wake up in the morning and I meditate. I do my yoga. I do my journaling, and the first thing I say is, okay, what um, what blocks am I feeling today? What blocks need to be cleared today? Because I can't be my best self if I'm stuck.
Mm,
And so, like the example, to little things like parking spaces and gas and all
right.
those things. I believe if I am willing to share my light, share what I really intend, I just want to help people. I love to help people in a compassionate way. I
Yeah.
think
So
judgment,
powerful.
there's no place for judgment. There just isn't, because that's bullshit. I don't do that. I don't like it.
Oh my God,
So
so good. You have such a light about you. You just glow and shine, and
thank you.
it's really awesome to meet you. And I've heard such good things about you. We have a mutual friend, Jenna. Shout out,
Yes.
Jenna.
Hello.
And she's just spoken so highly of you, and it's all true.
Oh,
So,
thank you. Thank you so much.
any last words of wisdom that you would like to leave with people that are, you know, on the road to changing their mind around their money?
Yeah. Really give yourself permission to be okay
Yeah.
with wherever you're at. Give
Mm,
yourself permission to be okay with wherever you're at. No shame in that game. Let's release that guilt, because once you do, then you're going to be open to seeing there's a better way. Don't stay stuck. You don't
yeah.
have to stay stuck.
You don't
That's,
have to.
that's like bad juju. Nobody wants that.
That's like so 2015.
Right?
No, it's amazing. Thank you so much. It was so great to have you.
I had a great time. Thank you.
Yay. Awesome. So where can everyone connect with you?
Yeah, so I am on Instagram at Frogosa's Elite Solutions, Facebook Frogosa's Elite Solutions LLC, and my website is Frogosa's Elite Solutions.
Awesome. We'll link everything up in the show notes. And everyone go check her out. Maybe book a session.
Yeah.
Maybe dive into some
Money
money
mapping.
mapping. Yeah, it sounds like something I could use. So I like that a lot. That's super cool.
Ooh,
Thank you so much.
thank you for having me.
You're so welcome.
Thank you so much for listening to the Badass Manifester podcast. I love manifesting Mondays with you, and there's so much more in store right here. The best way to manifest love is to give love. If you loved what you heard today, subscribe to the Badass Manifester podcast. Leave a review on iTunes. Let me know how much you dig the energy here. All of my social is linked up in the show notes, so screenshot this episode, tag me on Instagram, and let me be part of your real-time journey. For more info on me, feel free to go to my website, manifestwithash.com. Repeat after me. I am my own power source. I am the master of my energy, and I deserve everything that I desire. Go get 'em.